Hey, welcome to a new video. It's late in the evening, you're home alone, and you come across a series of videos so spine-chilling that they're usually watched with company. Nevertheless, you've gathered the courage to start this video.
Are you new to this channel? Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And before we start, also like the video.
Could you imagine going to a church to seek guidance from a specific saint, only to see that saint floating above worshippers in photos you had taken? A young Spaniard, accompanied by fellow students, visited the parish church of Salvador and Holy Nicholas in Madrid. Their aim, to seek intercession of Saint Joseph of Cupertino for success in their final exams. As they were preparing to leave, the young man decided to take a picture of the church, unaware of the extraordinary revelation awaiting him. Upon viewing the image, the student was astonished to discover a figure hovering above the church, a figure he deemed to resemble Saint Joseph of Cupertino. Born in 1603, he was famous for his mystical experiences and alleged ability to perform miracles. One of the most famous aspects of Saint Joseph of Cupertino's life was his ability to levitate while in prayer. This extraordinary sign of holiness was witnessed by many people, and during the investigations preceding his canonization, 70 instances of levitation were recorded. It's believed that anyone who saw the photo album in this house was cursed. In Watanabe's grandmother's house, there was a door she was never supposed to open. After her grandfather's passing, the woman found herself on the second floor when a sound from downstairs caught her attention. To her surprise, the forbidden door was slightly ajar, with her grandmother present, engrossed in placing a photo album inside. Strangely, the woman recalls her grandmother's face seemed to wear a disturbing smile. The next day, she had to find out what was inside the door. She discovered a photo album filled with creepy dolls. Shortly after this encounter, the woman was hospitalized with a high fever. She refused to see her grandmother for the next 5 years, and after the grandmother's passing, Watanabe hired someone to investigate this house, only to accidentally leave his camera behind. The recovered video footage from the camera shows a weathered state of the photo album. The man who saw the contents of the album underwent a striking, unsettling transformation. He too fell ill. The video footage shows him saying to someone, "Come here," although there was no one else in the house. He later claimed he felt a tangible menace emanating from the photo album, prompting him to tape it shut and return it to the chest before hastily leaving the house. However, the album was found on the floor of the house 2 weeks later. When he reviewed the footage, he saw a creepy figure with its head bowed in the background, although he claimed there was no one present in the house. In L.B. Taylor's book, The Ghosts of Fredericksburg, this phenomenon is referred to as the gentle spirit. This ghost is known for its reluctance to interact with people compared to other spectral entities. The story takes place in 1858 within the walls of the church as it stands today. A woman named Ella McCarty was at a choir rehearsal in the church when she saw a woman kneeling at the altar rail, dressed in a white robe with a veil covering her face. After a few moments, the figure stood up and cast a sorrowful gaze at Ella before vanishing into thin air. Further tales of strange occurrences in this church contribute to the eerie atmosphere. According to a man named Mark, local police officers have reported unusual behavior from their canine dogs, especially nearby the balcony door. Despite officers locking the doors at night, they often find them mysteriously unlocked during later checks. Footsteps echoing through the empty sanctuary and the sound of creaking pews add to the unsettling ambience. Even the caretaker who works in the cemetery next to the church has reported feeling a presence behind him, accompanied by a touch on his shoulder, only to find that there's no one there. Have you ever been alone and swear you feel like someone's standing over your shoulder? You turn around and there's nothing there. In the following video, we see something eerie happening in the background. Did you see it? Let me show you again. In a fleeting moment that vanishes in an instant, a ghostly face appears over the girl's shoulder. This revelation has left viewers puzzled and sparked a wave of speculation about the origin of the figure. For those brave enough, it raises chilling questions. Was it merely a play of light, or something much more sinister lurking in the shadows? Some say the brain can provide conflicting visual info that leads to hallucinations, or the perception of a presence that isn't actually there. This phenomenon has been observed in studies where ghostly presences were induced. But in this case, the figure appears to be a real ghost, don't you think? The origin of this video remains shrouded in mystery, as does the location of the church where a fleeting moment from these women's lives was captured. While weddings are often steeped with hopes of perfection, this ceremony took a darker tone. A sense of unease grips the spectators as they witness a mysterious figure without a jaw whose presence seems to cast a shadow over the joyful occasion. Some people claim that the mysterious individual had a creepy aura, evoking a sense of threat among the wedding guests. Not only does the lower half of his face appear to be missing, but it's the look in his eyes that comes across as sinister. The man's grin and menacing gaze only serve to exacerbate the feeling of discomfort, leaving the attendees in the church unsettled and apprehensive. A Reddit user captured footage in their backyard after receiving a motion sensor alert. Is this a ghostly apparition or just a camera glitch? The video footage depicts the eerie figure resembling a gray alien, and it appears to linger for a few seconds before disappearing again. Paranormal phenomena captured on camera often sparks debate. Skeptics suggest that camera glitches, lens smudges, motion blur, or mist can sometimes create the illusion of supernatural beings. But that still doesn't explain why the motion detection sensor went off. The most popular theory regarding the identity of what this was is wild. It's that we're looking at the ghost of an alien because of how translucent it appears. If it was just a glitch, why would it also take on a humanoid form? In the solemn moments before the exchange of vows, and as the couple is about to be joined in marriage, an unexpected and extraordinary event unfolds. Just as the officiant prepares to declare them husband and wife, the groom is suddenly overcome by a force of the Holy Spirit, initially starting as a subtle jerk, barely perceptible to those gathered in the sacred space. But then, as if a divine presence descends upon him, the groom's body is seized by a series of involuntary movements, his limbs contorting in a manner of defying all explanation. His face reflects a mixture of astonishment and awe as the spirit moves within him. Some spectators are uncertain how to react and become concerned. For is this a sign of manifestation of divine intervention, or a sign of the presence of the Holy Spirit? This dark mirror, with its seemingly autonomous movement, has the distinction of being the only object in the museum that defies explanation. The original owner acquired it at a paranormal fair near Columbus, and years later, after the owner's passing, the museum obtained this mysterious artifact. He recounted a chilling experience of gazing into the ominous depths of the mirror. The mirror serves as an eerie portal, offering a glimpse into the deepest fears of those who dare to look inside it, while simultaneously drawing in their energy. Museum visitors have witnessed their own transformations, aging before their own eyes to seeing playful winks, smiles, and even sudden disappearances. However, the most reported and disturbing phenomenon is seeing their own lifeless bodies staring back at them through the glass. Multiple visitors have reported unsettling glimpses of their own deceased forms. Could a visit to the picturesque town of Lakova in Czech Republic change your beliefs about ghosts? In this small village nestled in the Czech countryside lies the eerie St. George's Church, where the abandoned aisles are filled with ghostly white figures, seemingly beckoning visitors inside silently. Built in the 14th century, St. George's Church once stood proudly atop a hill, a beacon of faith for the town's inhabitants. But fate took a dark turn in 1968, when a tragedy occurred during a funeral, causing the roof to collapse. The devastated locals, fearful that the ghosts inhabited the church or that it was cursed, abandoned the building, and chose to hold their masses outside. Over the years, rumors spread about the ghostly inhabitants of the church, attracting curious visitors from far and wide. Upon entering the church, visitors encounter a chilling sight: the altar and pews filled with ghostly white figures, frozen in solemn poses as if trapped. Inspired by the eerie atmosphere and history of the church, an artist who once lived in the area recruited his classmates as models. Covered in sheets and encased in plaster casts, they were transformed into ghostly statues that now populate the church, adding to its eerie ambience. There's no earthly explanation for what just crawled past on all fours in front of this surveillance camera. The person who originally shared the video believed they were looking at a ghost, but other people in the comments believe the figure resembled more of a creature like a skinwalker. If it's a ghost, it's severely distorted by the camera. Tamil Nadu, the location where this occurred, has a rich history and folklore surrounding spirits, specifically highway spirits. Highway spirits refer to urban legends surrounding haunted highways or roads, and this might have been what was in this video. These legends often involve rumors and reports of ghostly apparitions, phantom hitchhikers, ghostly figures, repeating highways, and other supernatural phenomena. The story of highway spirits also vary by region, and often include unsolved mysteries or supernatural encounters. In this video, recorded during a holiday outing, a seemingly normal moment takes a chilling turn when a mysterious figure suddenly appears in the mirror reflection of a door. Some people familiar with the church believe it to be the ghost of St. Oliver Plunkett. St. Oliver Plunkett was a revered figure in Catholicism and holds a significant place in history as the last Roman Catholic martyr to be executed in England. His gruesome death stands as a testament to his unwavering faith and steadfast dedication to his beliefs. Following his death, the remains of St. Oliver Plunkett underwent a remarkable journey, ultimately finding their resting place in St. Peter's Church in Ireland. Since June 29, 1921, his head and various other relics have been venerated within the hallowed confines of the church, serving as a focal point for pilgrims and believers seeking solace and spiritual guidance. The appearance of a figure in the mirror of the door in the video arouses intrigue and curiosity. Could it actually be the ghostly presence of St. Oliver Plunkett? Or is it merely a play of light coincidentally captured by the camera? Jimmy Jimenez is an urban explorer who one day decided to journey into an abandoned ghost town in the mountains of Mexico. At one point, he comes across an abandoned and seemingly fortified house and is determined to go inside. Upon entering, Jimmy discovers an abandoned home shrouded in layers of dust and grime, with the remnants of forgotten lives. At first, nothing seems out of the ordinary, but as Jimmy later returns to the same spot, the doll is suddenly upright, its gaze fixated on him as if silently observing his every move. Unaware of this unsettling transformation, Jimmy exits the house, oblivious to the inexplicable encounter he just captured. It's important to note that the video footage forms an uninterrupted sequence, with only the barking of a stray dog in the distance and Jimmy's own movements audible. There's no other sounds, footsteps, or signs of movement perceptible. It should have been the happiest day of their lives, but for the bride and groom, it quickly turned into a nightmare. As they stood at the altar, exchanging vows in the church for a ceremony, an unexpected intruder opens the window behind them, disrupting the ceremony. His audacious act left the wedding party bewildered and speechless as they tried to comprehend what was happening before their eyes. Initially dismissed as a simple mistake, it became clear that his intrusion was quite intentional. With a smirk on his face, he relished the attention, knowing that all eyes were on him. The priest attempts to restore the order to the ceremony, instructing guests to return to prayer. But you can be sure that the strange man will be the talk of the guests later. This TikToker, who stated that she lived alone, had a simple question for the internet. Do you see this face too? The response was overwhelming as viewers told the TikToker that it seemed like there was someone else in her house. If you initially think that you don't see the face, give it a moment until it appears in the window above the door. The most disturbing aspect of this presence is in a sudden jump scare. Imagine a figure of extraordinary height gradually appearing before your eyes, and its presence alone is enough to send shivers down your spine. And you know you're in trouble when your cat sees it. It's his towering statue that allows him to manifest in such a deliberate and unhurried manner. How quickly would you move out? At the moment of capture, an Irish woman observed a captured ghost outside a church in Co-Wexford. The 44-year-old Karen from New Ross recounted how the eerie photo caught her attention at St. Mary's Church in the town. As she sat home on a Saturday evening, Karen noticed snowfall when she got up to the kitchen. The church, conveniently located across the road, prompted her to grab her phone. Her son followed her outside, but the street was deserted. She took a few photos before returning indoors to share them online. As she sat upright in bed, she studied the images and realized there was a ghost in one of the photos. Locals speculated about the identity of this mysterious figure, initially thought to resemble a monk or female interpretation. Built in 1210 by William Marshall, the church has a rich history, with stories of the dungeon and secret passages circulating among the locals. Despite mediums offering various theories, Karen leans towards the idea of an old woman possibly passing away near the church. Dustin Lee Frazier, a TikToker hailing from the Appalachians, captured a spine-chilling apparition while Snapchatting with a friend during work. In his videos, he recounts numerous symptoms accompanying demonic possession. He reveals an incessant feeling of fatigue as peaceful sleep eludes him. Upon waking up, he discovers unexplained bruises on his body, and in an attempt to capture his terrifying encounters, he speculates that he may be haunted by a skinwalker. As Dustin navigates through various buildings, he captures moments where something menacing lurks behind him. It becomes evident that this pursuit is not confined to the physical realm alone. He confesses to regularly experiencing nausea, finding no relief in any medication. What do you think this is? Demonic possession or a skinwalker? Here we see the chilling moment when a ghostly figure lurks outside a local church, sending shivers down the spines of all who behold it. Unfortunately, there's little info available about the video and where exactly it was recorded. As the video footage unfolds, attention is drawn to the church doorway, where a vague ethereal form materializes. According to local legend, the origin of this ghostly figure apparition can be traced back to the tragic incident during a fierce storm. It's said that a nun met her untimely end when a loose roof tile fell from above, claiming her life in the fury of the storm. Since that day, the ghost of a nun who died under unresolved circumstances haunts this church, her restless soul still tethered to the surroundings. TikToker Kathy Gallinger usually uploads cute videos of her cats, but on April 22nd, she shared a video that sent shivers down viewers' spines. In the video, she explains that she heard a strange noise coming from her bedroom. It all starts with an unexplained bang captured on camera, originating from her closet. But the disturbing events don't end there. Kathy's dog Lucy begins acting strangely around the closet doors, adding to the growing sense of unease. The closet mysteriously opens again, accompanied by a scratching sound that startles Lucy, prompting her to quickly flee the room. Determined to capture further strange activities, Kathy sets up an infrared camera to record at night while she sleeps, hoping to catch the closet doors moving on their own. When she checks the video footage the next day, she's astonished by what she sees. As the closet doors open by themselves, an eerie white mist seems to emanate from it. As the night approaches, the intensity of the event escalates. Once again, Kathy hears a scratching sound, causing her dog to run out of the room in fear. In the second video, you can see the closet doors swinging open as if being pushed from within by an invisible force. The Church of Our Lady Mary of Zion symbolizes Ethiopian Orthodox Tewahedo faith, shrouded in legend and reverence. Some even claim that the Holy Ark of the Covenant resides here. Located in the ancient city of Axum in the Tigray region of northern Ethiopia, it rests in the shadow of the imposing obelisks of Axum. Access to the inner sanctum, known as the Old Church, is restricted to men only, except for the Blessed Virgin Mary, symbolizing the Ark. The church has endured destruction and subsequent rebuilding on at least 2 occasions. Tragically, against the backdrop of the Tigray War in mid-December 2020, reports of a chilling incident emerged. Allegedly, 750 individuals seeking refuge inside the church perished at the hands of militants. While suspicions arose about an attempt to steal the Ark, no concrete evidence supported these claims. Have you ever watched the TV series Doctor Who, specifically the episode featuring weeping angels, the statues that only moved when they weren't being observed? The saying surrounding these moving statues was always not to blink near one. A YouTuber decided to share an intriguing clip capturing a chilling moment in a graveyard. While live streaming from this location, he stumbled upon a statue that seemed to defy conventional expectations. The inexplicable movement left the YouTuber and viewers perplexed and intrigued. In the video, the statue's arm is seen subtly shifting to the left, and upon closer inspection, it even appears to rise slightly. Unfortunately, no specific details were provided about the graveyard, making it difficult to delve into the history or investigate the possible reasons behind this mysterious occurrence. The lack of info adds to the enigmatic nature of the situation, leaving people wondering what this monument, frozen in stone, could have done to make such an unexpected movement. On a gloomy day, as the bells of Lincoln City Cathedral rang out, a man was determined to capture the beauty of this cathedral on video. But little did he know that on this day he would encounter a terrifying encounter with the supernatural. As the bells chimed, the camera just caught something around the corner, a mysterious figure lurking in the shadows behind one of the pillars. With a mix of curiosity and bravery, the man decided to confront the eerie figure. Every step he took forward thickened the atmosphere with a suffocating tension as he approached the ghostly apparition. His camera captured every nerve-wracking moment, but as the man with his heart pounding in his chest got closer and decided to look behind the pillar, the eerie figure before his eyes suddenly vanished. This next individual had the misfortune of renting a spooky Airbnb, but he wasn't just haunted by anything, it was a shadow dog. The person noticed something strange was going on when the real dog began to act oddly. The dog sensed that it wasn't the only presence in the room and became frightened when it saw the shadow dog move by. Whether you believe it or not, shadow dogs do exist. The legend of shadow dogs is a supernatural phenomenon, primarily found in the folklore of the British Isles. The situation in this video reached a boiling point when the shadow dog approached and tried to attack the other dog. By the way, did you know that shadow dogs are often associated with the devil and as harbingers of death? Descriptions of shadow dogs usually depict them as larger than normal dogs with glowing eyes. These supernatural dogs are also often associated with electrical storms, crossroads, and ancient paths. Britain has its own collection of famous ghostly apparitions. Among these eerie tales, the story of Newby Hall in Yorkshire stands out as an intriguing example from the 1960s. Newby Hall, an elegant 18th century estate, serves as both a family-friendly tourist destination and the backdrop for a mysterious event. The infamous Newby monk, also known as the ghost of the Newby Church, emerged from a photograph taken on the grounds of the Church of Christ the Counselor in Newby Hall. This photo was taken in 1963. It revealed no sign of the mysterious monk figure present in the image. However, upon development and subsequent dissemination, speculations wildly varied about the identity of the vaguely human form. The indistinct face of the ghostly figure, shrouded behind a white haze like a death shroud, led to theories of leprosy or other facial deformities that may have been concealed. In March 2018, a concerned woman contacted the local police in Mexico City deep into the night, reporting unexplained sounds emanating from the vacant apartment above hers. The puzzling dilemma arose when she was alone at home, and the apartment above her should have been unoccupied. Police quickly arrived to investigate, but their search yielded no signs of intruders or burglars. Despite this, the officers experienced their own eerie encounters, including strange sounds like thuds and faint voices. Concerned that someone might be hiding inside the apartment, they reached out to headquarters and requested a nearby public CCTV camera to be aimed at the windows of the upper apartment. What the camera captured was downright astonishing. Ghostly figures of 3 ghost children peered out the window, despite there never having been children living in the apartment, and the police finding no one inside. As the police departed the premises, the experienced security officer of the building stepped forward and shared a chilling revelation. He claimed that the same mysterious phenomenon occurs every 10 years, and that the people who have witnessed it have no idea who or what these ghostly apparitions are. This next photo, reportedly taken during a religious service in a church, sent shivers down many people's spines, as it was claimed that the devil had appeared in the church. The post went viral in the first weeks of April 2018, showing a sinister figure menacingly standing by the door amidst the pews and the altar. With demonic features, a pale face, and a hunched posture, the being seems to be watching over the churchgoers in the hall. According to the post, there was an accompanying audio clip of a passage from the Bible, citing and claiming that the photo was taken by the pastor's sister-in-law. The strange thing about this audio message is that it mysteriously disappeared from the internet. The message emphasizes the authenticity of the figure and encourages viewers to zoom in and see the chilling reality for themselves. As the message spreads like wildfire across social media platforms, speculation runs high. Is it really the devil himself manifesting within the confines of the church? What do you think? The Haunt Hunters, a group of individuals on a quest for the supernatural, made a stop at the historic Ritz Theater in Towel, Utah. This theater, proudly standing on Towel's main street since 1939, had been the subject of numerous eerie tales. Deep into their investigation, one of the strategically placed cameras inside the theater captured a chilling sight of a figure slowly walking down the aisle. One of the investigators, frozen in place, watched as the figure continued its solitary stroll. What makes it eerie is that another shadow materialized, following the same path, veering to the right before mysteriously fading away. This isn't the first time that the Ritz Theater in Towel has been haunted by ghostly apparitions. It's said to be haunted by 2 ghostly spectators, who appear after the lights go out, as if watching a performance. Upon viewing the video footage in slow motion, the distinct outlines of 2 human figures were unmistakable. As the joyful celebration of a wedding unfolded with the sacred walls of a church, an icy presence made its unexpected appearance in the background. All of this happened amidst the laughter and merriment of the guests in the church. The figure, shrouded in a white veil, appeared sorrowful, but who it was or where the figure came from remains a mystery. For some, seeing this apparition evoked whispers of tragedy, a bride whose life was tragically cut short by a car accident shortly after exchanging her vows. However, others embraced a different supernatural explanation and attributed the appearance to the presence of a guest spirit. In the view, the veiled figure represents a restless spirit, hovering between the realms of the living and the dead, bound to the earthly realm by unfinished business or unfulfilled promises. The veil covering the features of the figure adds to this mysterious allure, concealing any semblance of identity or emotion. This video of a figure climbing a wall may be one of the scariest, most chilling videos to exist online. If you thought it would be cool to climb a vertical wall like Spider-Man, it really isn't. It's quite terrifying, especially when you're climbing a church wall like this woman, who can only be described as possessed. However, there's many questions here. Who is this woman, why was she here, and what's she carrying? The feeling of eeriness upon seeing someone crawl on all fours in an animalistic manner can be attributed to a combination of psychological and evolutionary factors. One theory suggests that the uncanny valley effect comes into play. The uncanny valley refers to the discomfort or unease experienced when encountering something that closely resembles a human, but falls short of convincingly being human. What do you think is climbing a wall here, and what could be the reasons behind it? Whatever it is, it's very creepy, and I hope I never encounter anything like this in real life. In the next video, we see insects crawling everywhere in a church where people are praying. Meanwhile, every inch of the floor, most walls, and even the air is filled with hundreds of insects. In many spiritual traditions, insects are often associated with symbolism related to purification and renewal. From a biblical perspective, an influx of insects can be interpreted as a symbolic cleansing of the church, purifying it from impurities or negative energies. However, at the same time, insects are used in some biblical stories as instruments of divine warning or even punishment. An insect plague in a church could be a sign of a divine displeasure or a warning of the congregation to repent and return to the righteous living. Would you continue to attend the same church if you discovered it's suddenly filled with armies of apocalyptic insects? What would your reaction be if you heard a voice in the woods saying, "I see you"? This YouTuber decided to wander around a clearly haunted forest. As he walks, he gets the distinct feeling of being watched. Less than 15 minutes later, he hears a voice whispering the words, "I see you." What makes this even creepier is how you could almost swear the voice echoes through the deserted, empty woods. It's like something straight out of a horror movie, especially one like the Blair Witch Project. There's two scenarios here. It could have been the voice of another camper, or it could have been the ghost following the YouTuber. What do you think? The resurrection sculpture was created in 1977 by the Italian artist Perico Fazzini and is located at the Paul VI Audience Hall of the Vatican. What you see here is Jesus Christ rising from a nuclear explosion, symbolizing rebirth after a devastation of war. This choice of sculpture is quite profound and reflects humanity's deep concerns post-war about nuclear energy and its potential for both destruction and energy. It's installed in the audience hall where popes hold public gatherings, complementing the spiritual messages conveyed by the Pope. However, its dramatic and apocalyptic depiction has not been without controversy. Some suggest that the sculpture alludes to deeper hidden messages about the role of the Church. They interpret the choice of a nuclear explosion as an underlying message related to the destruction and the end times, which could be linked to apocalyptic or even demonic symbolism. Regardless of your perspective, Fazzini's Resurrection remains one of the most provocative modern artworks of the Vatican. In the late hours of August 16, 2019, Rachel Mogg, a nightclub staff member, found herself immersed in the security footage from inside the venue. What she saw in the video footage was downright eerie. The club was already closed, and Rachel was certain that no one else was inside. However, the recorded video footage told a different story, leaving Rachel bewildered as she saw the spooky being roaming around. According to Rachel, the video didn't reveal an ordinary person. Instead, the figure captured on the security camera appeared to be an entity, immediately catching the attention of Rachel and her colleagues. It had a striking appearance, leaving no doubt that they were witnessing something extraordinary. As Rachel and her friends analyzed the video footage, they were astounded by what they saw, a translucent figure cautiously making its way towards the dance floor. The mysterious presence seemed uncertain, as if contemplating to step on the dance floor itself. Rachel's convinced that something supernatural was captured on camera that night. Whether it was a ghostly apparition or something else remains a mystery. As this YouTuber entered an abandoned church in the middle of the night with a flashlight and a camera, cold chills began to run down his spine. It's unclear where he is, but it appears he's entirely alone. When he reaches the main hall of the church, at one point, he looks around and then sees something that frightens him to death. A pair of invisible eyes of a ghostly woman with a pale face stared back at the man. Initially, he brushed it off as paranoia, attributing it to an uneasy feeling from the dark environment he was in. It's already quite scary to visit a church at night, but encountering a ghost adds another layer of fear. With trembling fingers, he aimed the camera towards one of his pews, capturing the eerie visage of the woman sitting silently and staring at him. Her facial features, though obscured by the veil, were perfectly clear. With a choked cry, he turned and fled, the echoes of her anguish ringing in his ears as he made a swift escape. Before entering this museum, you must sign a waiver acknowledging the potential encounters with invisible ghosts or even attacks. Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum gained nationwide attention, with many reports from visitors claiming to have encountered spirits, and sometimes even becoming possessed. This museum serves as a breeding ground for supernatural energy and dark forces. Each room is adorned with spine-tingling artifacts, and even items that once belonged to cult leaders and infamous serial killers. Amidst all possessed relics and frightening rooms, however, there's one particular that requires extra caution: Peggy's room. In this chilling video, a woman on a tour attempts to enter Peggy's room, but is abruptly halted. She recounts feeling an unexplainable force pushing against her chest, which was very intense. Zach himself confirms that Peggy's been causing harm to unsuspecting individuals for years. This malevolent entity has gained notoriety for her ability to induce heart attacks when not treated with respect. Two peculiar events are captured in this video. First, notice the eerie figure lurking in the background behind the person on the right. But this wasn't the only spooky thing that happened in the video. When the priest in the middle raises his hands, the plate beneath him starts moving, as if being pushed by an invisible force. Some believe that deep religious devotions can have physical effects on the surroundings, such as causing miracles through intense spiritual practices. While some subscribe to this theory, others remain skeptical. This creepy moment occurred during a traditional ritual practiced by various religious denominations, including the Orthodox and Catholic. The ceremony proceeded without any apparent interruptions, and the attendees were unaware of the unusual events until this video surfaced on the internet. Upon closer inspection, a peculiar movement can be observed in the object the priest is holding, although it may be attributed to pixelation. Some may chalk this up to a coincidence, but others say it's a manifestation of divine intervention. What do you think? Helltown, once known as Boston Township, is a place steeped in chilling myths and legends. Tales of supernatural events, devil-worshipping cults, and even bizarre mutants have woven a spooky tapestry around this town. Despite the town's reputation, YouTuber Urbex Hill decided to delve into the mysteries of Helltown. Upon entering what seemed to be an old barn, their senses were immediately disturbed by a sight of a ghostly rope swaying silently in the darkness. But when they suddenly heard a creepy voice, things got really strange. Take a listen.
What the fuck?
Urbex Hill tried to follow the voice, but couldn't find what it was. What makes this moment so terrifying is that the history of Helltown can be traced back to Native American tribes, particularly the Lenape. The Lenape tribe was forced to abandon their ancestral lands after the Treaty of Easton in 1758. These displaced tribes sought refuge in the area now known as Boston, Ohio, settling there by the 1770s. Unfortunately, the violence of the American Revolutionary War in 1782 led to the merciless killing of this tribe. Since then, paranormal occurrences have occurred at this location, including a video by Urbex Hill where he encounters a pair of eyes staring at him in the distance. In the serene darkness of the night, the Russian Orthodox Church stood as a beacon of spiritual comfort, its domes and towers illuminated in a soft ethereal blue glow. Inside, the faithful gathered for prayers with flickering candlelight and a scent of incense. Outside the church, a man captured the moment with a camera in which we see multiple angels seemingly to fly inside the church. Some people believe that the angels were drawn by the magnetic pull of the sacred gathering. Against the dark night sky, dozens of luminous angels descended, each shining with a supernatural brilliance, as if guided by invisible hands. Angels are often seen as heavenly messengers who mediate between the divine and the human worlds. For the witness outside, the sight was nothing short of miraculous, a phenomenon where the boundaries between the earthly and the divine blurred and merged. Numerous stories exist of filmmakers claiming their movie sets were haunted by ghosts or encountering strange occurrences during and after production. For instance, the 1976 film The Omen is said to have been plagued by a series of unfortunate events, leading to rumors of a curse. A man on Reddit named R. Oasis was watching a recent interview with Johnny Depp at the Cannes Film Festival, showcasing his 2023 film Jean du Barry. But during this event, something strange was captured on camera. At one point, a dark figure slid past the camera, briefly catching attention. While some viewers dismissed it as a passerby, others were intrigued by its unnaturally swift movements, possibly indicating a potential supernatural presence. Shadows, known for their ability to move through space in an instant, are often described in chilling tales. Could this mysterious figure inadvertently captured in the video be one of these elusive beings? What do you think? When a man approached the Vatican Church with his camera and joined the pilgrim and tourists, he managed to capture a dark figure in the distance. No one expected to encounter such a thing in broad daylight at one of the most historic churches in the world. As you can see, high up in the vaulted windows, there's one eerie silhouette, and it's looming against the backdrop of stained glass and ancient walls. The belief that the Vatican is haunted is not uncommon, fueled by a combination of its ancient history, religious significance, and numerous reports of paranormal experiences. Although the Vatican itself doesn't officially confirm or deny such claims, anecdotal evidence and stories passed down through generations contribute to this belief. One of the most famous alleged ghost sightings within the Vatican is associated with the figure of Pope Formosus. In the 9th century, Pope Formosus was famously exhumed and posthumously tried during the Cadavere Synod. According to legend, his spirit roams the Vatican, disturbed by the humiliation of the trial. Another notable incident is the reported appearance of a female ghost, known as the Lady in Black. According to stories, this ghostly figure has been seen in various places within the Vatican, often near the Sala Regia. People install doorbell cameras for various reasons, providing homeowners with a sense of security and peace of mind. But this next doorbell camera recorded something strange, and the homeowners didn't even dare to go outside when they saw this being in the footage. When the person published the video, they mentioned that the being resembled Casper the Friendly Ghost. You can see the shadowy figure moving on the camera. But if you think it's just walking away, it gets even creepier, because a dark figure also appears on the right. Some people think it's an apparition from another era. Others suggest it might be different spirits or the same spirit somehow changing shape as it walks away into the night. What's the scariest moment you've ever experienced? Let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more videos we've made, click one on the screen or take a look at the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.